Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2024 Nissan Rogue all-wheel drive in the SE trim. It also has the premium package. This vehicle is sitting on 235/55 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Deep Ocean Blue. Now this is the two-tone paint with the black roof. So it has these pillars right here blacked out as well. And it's a really nice blue color. Has a little metal flake in it. You can see the sun shining. Hopefully you can see what it looks like. It's a nice deep blue. So here in the front, do have some chrome accents there in the grille. The new Nissan badge, fairly new now, I guess at this point. It has the radar adaptive cruise control sensor right in here. Parking sensors integrated as well here and here. Body colored portions as well. Now it has the multi-reflector headlight system. And up here is the accent light and turn signal, and then the actual headlights are down here. The outer portion is the low beams, the inner portion is the high beams. So it's just a bunch of reflectors, and I have a full night video if you want to check out how they perform at night. Looking at the profile, you can see that black portion that we saw there on the front goes around the wheel well, the base of the doors as well, and just continues on all the way around the vehicle. Body colored handles. The upper portion of the side mirror is gloss black, just like the roof. It does have like a silver roof rail as well. These pillars are also blacked out. So these are gloss black here, and they kind of solidify with the privacy glass. Really nice looking. This is what the key looks like. And it's a pretty good key. It's a little bit bigger and bulkier and heavier than the previous generation Nissan keys, but it's okay. It has a remote start, lock, unlock, the ability to open up the power liftgate, and a panic button. But yeah, it's a pretty solid key. Feels good. Feels more robust, but definitely than the other keys, just a little bit more weight. And it also has the walk-away auto lock feature. So as long as you have the key with you, if you turn that feature on, you could basically just walk away from the vehicle, it locks, and then when you walk up to the vehicle, it unlocks. So it just senses the key, unlocks the vehicle. But typically, you just push this button to alternate lock or unlock. Right now it's unlocked, hit it, now it locks. Push it again, unlocks. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. Doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, and it has a seal here as well, kind of keeping this threshold fairly clean. The inside of the passenger door has soft touch surfaces here, so like a vinyl type material with the contrast stitching, and it has a French double stitch, nice. Soft, this is not super soft, but it does have the vinyl coverings, and then the hard touch surfaces right here at the bottom. This is enclosed, you can utilize it as a pocket, a handle. There's also a handle here and a larger pocket at the bottom. It's a regular plastic sill plate there on the threshold, and then it has the power seat, but it does not go up and down. It's just forward and back here, and then tilt here. These seats are mostly leather, but it does have this cloth material right here where it meets up with the hard plastic, kind of saving the leather. And then these are heated seats as well. Really nice, comfortable seats overall. Has some bolstering, not too intrusive though. Just overall nice looking, nice feeling, especially for the price of the vehicle. So here in the floorboard in front of the seat, you can see the floor mat snaps in place and pretty good amount of leg room. There's also some paths through right in here is a little storage compartment. This you can access it from the driver or the passenger, but it's a little bit more accessible on this side. So there's a non-locking glove compartment. It's a hard touch surface here, and it has a soft landing and smooth plastic there on the inside. So there's some gloss black, metallic accents here. We have more of that vinyl type material with the stitching, and this is rubbery soft up here, non-reflective dash. Huge sunroof too. We'll look at that later on. You can see the opening here on the front. It's just wide open space, so getting in and out is no problem. The back door, basically the same thing, especially the swing of the door is nice. This swing is almost like 90 degrees, so it's really gives you a lot of room to get in and out of the back seat. So this back door does have a shade, a retractable shade, in addition to the privacy glass. Goes into the door when you're not using it. Soft touch surfaces are here and here, but not up here. This is a hard touch. And then hard touch here at the bottom. Pocket there, pocket here. The back seat's basically a typical bench seat. The back folds down to add to your cargo space. It does have the cup holders and armrest here. And it's really soft, unlike the armrest everywhere else in the vehicle. And it has the car seat attachments here. But check it out, it has these covers that just pop out. So, you know, not all that great, because you lose those. But it does have it on all three seating positions, the center and on the other side there. Back of the center console is USB ports, climate control adjustments, vents there. There's a small hump in the middle, so that's pretty nice. Almost completely flat floor, really. There's a mat pocket on the back of the passenger seat here, but not the driver's seat. The fuel door is on the passenger side, and it locks with the vehicle. And it is a capless design. No cap to worry about. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it does have the gloss black shark fin antenna here at the center. There is a rear spoiler with the third brake light integrated right in here. There is a rear wiper. Then it has a combination of LED and standard bulbs here for the tail lights. Parking sensors across the back. The backup camera is in a center position right here, which is very impressive. I wish it was a little bit better, like, integrated into the design of the vehicle. They just put it next to the tag, but at least they put it in the center. Then there's some reflectors down here. The exhaust is well hidden. And opening up the power liftgate, you can of course use the key, or you can just push this button under here. It does have like the motion activated one as well, sensor. So this is a hard touch surface under here. If you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is the cargo space you have, which is pretty good amount of room here. Here on the right side, there's a little pocket, little storage cubby there. You do have tie downs as well. You can also add a shade. There is a place to add a shade here. Under this cover is where you'll find the jack for the spare tire. And this load floor is a little bit customizable. So basically you can go like this and lower. It's very easy to do. Lower the load floor. To raise it back up, you just lift it and put it there. Same thing with this one. You just basically move it right down. You can also lift it up and use it as a divider as well. So it has some different functionalities that you can do with it. You can also take this out. So you have these little clips right here, here, and you can just, it unhooks it, and you can completely take these out if you want to and just use the bottom load floor. Under the bottom load floor is the spare tire, subwoofer, and a little bit of extra space. There's also tools here for the spare tire as well. But it's a full diameter spare tire. Now you can fold these seats down. It's a 60-40 split, so you can fold this down or that side either way to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space, or you can fold them both down and have a wide open space in here. Lowering the power liftgate, there's two buttons. One is to simply lower it down. The other one is to lower it, then lock the vehicle. So if you're finished with getting your groceries or whatever, and you want to just lock the vehicle, close everything, you press that button, and you can walk away now, and the vehicle will be completely locked and secure. As long as the key's inside the vehicle, you just press and hold the brake, press this button to start it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. The floor mat snaps in place. Accelerator, brake pedal is here, and then there's the footrest here on the left side. Let's take a look under the hood. Open the hood, there's a latch right here in the very center. So you just reach in, move it to the left, and you can lift up on the hood. You can see right there where the latch is, fairly straightforward there. Now the hood does require a prop to hold it up, and here's the prop here, and you swing it up, and put it right where that arrow is pointing. You can see there's insulation under the hood. There's a seal across the front, the back, controlling airflow and noise. There's an insulated battery. There's an insulated and heat shielded firewall back there, because it does have a turbocharged engine. You see there's the turbocharger. There's some heat shielding there. And the engine's oriented this way. So there's the front of the engine, back of the engine, transmission's back that way. It is an all-wheel drive vehicle, but it's oriented, the engine orientation is very similar to or just like the front-wheel drive type vehicles. This vehicle is powered by a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine, and it puts out 201 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque. Now that torque comes in at 2,800 RPMs to 4,000 RPMs. So it's a pretty good broad range there. And it's paired to a CVT, Xtronic CVT transmission. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So there's the presets for the power seats, power windows. Now it has a one-touch up and down driver window, and it is a laminated glass. The little triangle right here in the side mirror is for the blind spot detection system and rear cross traffic alert. But yeah, it's a laminated glass here. It goes up and down quite fast. The back windows, you do have to hold the button, and that's as far down as they go. They don't go all the way down. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust with that little pad. Now if you leave the light on one of them like this, then it will automatically tilt down the side mirrors when you put it in reverse. I don't really care for that, so I turn that off. And then of course the door lock controls are here. Now the driver's seat, in it, just like the other side, it has a power seat, but you can go up and down. You can also tilt, and then there's the two-way lumbar adjustment as well. So yeah, no problem with these seats. These are comfortable, and I can ride in them for hours. Not really a big deal. Here to the left of the steering column, there is a few buttons. Dimmer switch for the interior gauges. The idle stop you can turn off here. Open up the power lift gate, and there's also the steering. This has the steering assist system, but as you'll see when we're driving, it's a little annoying, so I just typically turn it off. So I'm glad I can just quickly turn it off right here. Tilt telescoping steering column. You just lock it in place here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall. To give you an idea of the potential leg room here, I have the seat all the way down and all the way back. And yeah, there's lots of room here to my left and right legs here. And I'm 6 feet tall, so I probably need to pull it up just a little bit, but overall it's okay. The left footrest is the only thing. It just doesn't really, kind of has this little tapering going on there, which is, you know, a little bit aggravating sometimes. But other than that, it's fine. Overall, it's very comfortable to drive, and getting in and out is no problem. The steering wheel, it's a leather wrap steering wheel. It has a little, kind of like a flat bottom a little bit here at the bottom, and feels pretty good. It's a little bit on the firm side, but it feels okay. I hadn't really had any problems, but it's not like, you know, super wow steering wheel, but it is comfortable and totally usable with no problems. Just slight bolstering right here and thicker part there at the bottom. Now it does have the paddle shifters on the back, and it does have a CVT system, so it just changes through the speed ratios to give you a little bit more control over the vehicle when you need it, you know, especially for downshifting, that kind of thing. So here on the front of the steering wheel, there's the cruise control. So you do have to push this button to activate the system, and then you can pull it down on this to set it. And then you can resume by pushing it up and push in on this for cancel. And then the voice recognition is here. The phone button is here. This is the same button to answer or hang up. And then you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you using the radar adaptive cruise control system right there. Here on the left side of the steering wheel, there's the volume for the radio, change to the tracks or radio stations depending on where you're at. And then this button and these controls here, scroll wheel, arrows, and the OK button there in the center correspond with the screen. We'll get to that in a second. Front and rear wipers are controlled here on the right side. Pretty straightforward. Here on the left side is turn signal, of course. It also has the headlight switch. So it has off, parking, headlights automatic, and then the button on the end is to turn on the automatic high beams. The gauge cluster is basically a screen, and it has some customization as well. So on the far left we have the RPM gauge, the tachometer, engine coolant temperature. On the right side here at the bottom is the fuel gauge, digital speedometer, as well as a regular dial speedometer. It shows the outside temperature, the digital clock, odometer, distance to empty, what gear you're in, just the basic stuff here. It also has the kilometers per hour right here, which you can change the that in the settings if you want to have that as your main speed measurement. So here is the home screen. So if I use these buttons, left and right, and then the scroll wheel, and then the OK, and then you also have this button right here, I'll refer to that as the shortcuts menu, because that's basically what it's called in this vehicle. So if I just go left and right to show you, this is part of a menu system. So basically we were in this home screen. If I scroll the wheel up or down, it shows different views. Go to the right, so this would be the drive computer, and we have the average miles per gallon, that kind of stuff. We could scroll up and down to get different views here. Scrolling down again will give information about the vehicle. We'll go through all this. This shows the amount of energy that's going to the front or rear wheels. It is an all-wheel drive system, so it gives you a percentage of where the power is being delivered. And then there is this is a turbocharged engine, and it gives you some information as far as the boost pressure, that kind of stuff. And it goes back to the beginning. Scrolling to the right again goes to the navigation. We have this view or that view, and this is the navigation map. And I'll show you how we can expand. We can expand that view a little bit, because these dials, we can make those go away, and I'll show you that in a second. Scrolling to the right again shows whatever your radio is doing. Scroll to the right again, shows us our safety features. We can get different views here as well. To the last one here is the settings. We can go in here, change different settings here. We can personalize this display and choose different things that we want. Go into vehicle settings, and you can adjust all these as well. Alright, let's get back out of that. And then back to the beginning here. Now if we hit the shortcuts menu, we have the very first one. It says change meter view, and it just changes it to this view. So let's go back to the navigation map, so you can see it's a little bit bigger now. Not hugely bigger, but it is big enough, enough to make a difference anyway. So this has like a little bit of different view. It has the dials turned kind of like on edge, having a 3D effect. Pretty cool. Now if we go back here to the shortcuts and we go to personal display, we can choose what we have right here, this information. So the fuel economy has been there. We can change it pretty much anything we want in this list, including nothing basically. But the fuel economy is pretty handy. I'd keep that there. Now the screen over here has a different views on the navigation. So right now I have the satellite. We'll look at that in a second. But this is the home screen. It has a split between the navigation, whatever the radio is doing, and then your whatever device is connected here. And you can slide it over like this, and you have these kind of different widgets similar to what you'd find on the phone. It does have Alexa, it has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, different features like that. It has the Google Maps, Google Assistant, all that kind of stuff. Let's go to the navigation here, so we can see the navigation is right now set to the satellite, which is pretty cool, and it's pretty responsive. And we can go into the settings here, take off the satellite so it's a normal view. So yeah, very responsive screen here, especially with all this all this kind of updated, like the navigation and the clarity, the resolution, everything about this screen looks really good, and it's very responsive at the same time. So you have 3D buildings, satellite navigation, you have the traffic, you have the guidance audio options, different options there that you can have in the navigation. Alright, so let's go to the next one here, which would be the audio. Right now there's nothing playing. It'll just show whatever's playing here. There's the sources: AM, FM, satellite radio, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, and then USB ports. You also have Amazon Alexa as well. Once you pair your phone, you have access to it here. Here's the apps button here, and you can go in and select the ones that you want to use. You can go into settings right here, adjust it the way you want it, and then right here is for the customize the menus. So you have your home menu that you can change. You can drag it around, customize the screen and all that. Now when you're in audio, and when you hit that, it goes into your settings for your audio. So depending on what screens you're in, well, the adjustments, the settings here will kind of pop up what's appropriate. Now there is a physical volume knob changed to the tracks. You can turn on the camera system, which is really good. It has the top-down view, front and rear views as well. You have different views like this. Really nice. Yeah, I really like the camera system, and it's really well done on the screen here. So yeah, the physical shortcuts right there, the volume knob, and then the climate control. It's a tri-zone climate control, so the driver, passenger, and rear climate controls, and you can adjust them in the back or here on the front by pressing that button. You can adjust it here. Where you want, there's the fan speed, where you want the air to blow, front and rear defrosters. There's a 3-stage heated seat for the driver and passenger. Heated steering wheel as well. It's just on or off. 12-volt power supply here on the right side. 2 USB ports, USB-C ports. There's the start button, has a wireless charger with a little accent light around it, pretty cool. Now in my case, I had to take my phone case off in order to charge here. Depends on the phone case, I guess. There's cup holders here. This little bottom piece can come out so you can clean it, put it back in. There's the shifter. You just press this button here on the side, push it forward to go reverse. It does have the parking sensors that pop up. You also have the camera system. It'll memorize whatever screen you had originally. So let's go back to that one, because that's my favorite one there. Press the button, pull it back gently, go in the neutral, then drive, and then you pull it back again to go into a manual mode, and you can use the paddle shifters to change to the gears, and it'll show you what gear you're in right here. You can always pull it back again to go back and drive, and then there's the park button, so that'll park the vehicle. Now that's not the same thing as the electronic parking brake. That will be located here, and you just lift up on it. It has a little status light. It engages the rear wheels. Hold the brake, push it down to release it. Now it has the auto hold function, where it'll hold the brake for you when you come to a complete stop until you hit the accelerator. So it just kind of holds for you while you're at a stoplight or whatever. Here's the drive modes. Now this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, so it has a little bit different system here. So as we scroll through, it has Eco, Sport, Automatic, Snow, and then Off-Road. So you're just basically telling the vehicle what to expect when it's driving using the system. I'm on dry pavement, so I don't really have the experience with the all-wheel drive system in the situations in which I'll need to use it in a functional way. But it seems to work fine just driving around on normal dry roads and everything in the automatic function. This armrest is kind of rubbery soft, looks pretty cool, and there's a button in here to press, and it opens up like this. Pretty neat. And it has let me get my stuff out of here, business cards and stuff. So here is a little compartment here. There's a little smaller compartment, kind of quick access compartment. There's no light in here. That little light, that's like a light coming from outside. I wish there was a light in here though. I showed that in the night video. Basically, I just showed a dark compartment, basically. does have an auto dim rear view mirror. So it's auto dimming right now because I have a shade over the light sensor. Light sensor's located on the back of the rear view mirror. All right, and then up here is a place to put your shades, and it's pretty good size, and it's felt lined. You can put your big glasses in there, safety glasses, sunglasses, whatever. And then you have these different lights. Not super impressive interior lights, but they do work okay. One good thing is the interior light, the button to turn on the interior lights is illuminated, so that's a good thing. If you want to have the interior lights not turn on with the door opening, you can turn that feature off here. That's the off button. Roadside assistance. This is for the sunroof. So you have a power shade and power sunroof. We'll get to that in a second. The visor does have a mirror with a light. Little clip right here. This is like a vinyl type material, and the headliner is a cloth, but it matches in color, but this is a little bit easier to clean, the vinyl type material. It does slide out like that. Same thing on the other side. So this has a massive sunroof. So let's go ahead and open up the shade. You notice the shade covers 100% of the light. Press it again to keep going back. So that back portion right here is fixed. The front portion moves. So let's use the other button here. We'll go ahead and press up on it, and it'll pop it up and kind of give us a little vent. Move it back. Press it again. Goes a little bit further back. So it's pretty wide opening here. Looking at the visibility here in the back, there is some pretty wide pillars back there in the far back. But overall, just kind of looking over my shoulder and driving the vehicle, hadn't really had any issues. It does have the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, really good 360 camera system, parking sensors all the way around. So a lot of technology to help you drive the vehicle safely. But, you know, it's good to be able to look out the windows and see what's going on. So other than those wide pillars, it's not really an issue. And those pillars, you can get used to them. It's not really a big deal. For having a 3-cylinder engine, this vehicle drives pretty good. Now, it's designed to drive normally, right? And you do have a decent amount of power in that normal driving range. But I'm just going to accelerate just so you can hear what it sounds like and all that stuff. So it has kind of like this semi-stepped acceleration with a CVT, Xtronic CVT system. And so it's kind of to some degree emulating gear shifts, which I don't really care for. I think it would be more efficient and accelerate faster if it just doesn't have that waviness to it. But overall, it's pretty good for a 3-cylinder engine that gets like middle 30s as far as fuel economy. It's pretty impressive. So if you're just kind of driving along like this and you're already started and you need to accelerate, then it does have a decent acceleration for merging and passing, that kind of thing. But it doesn't, like when you really floor it, it doesn't feel like it's super powerful. It's more like when you have it in the middle when the accelerator is kind of in the middle zone, is when you feel that kind of more takeoff. I even feel it when I lift off the accelerator. It feels like it's getting more acceleration, you know, when I don't have it all the way pressed down. So it's in that normal range that when you're driving is where it really shines. Another positive thing about this vehicle is it's relatively quiet. I hear a little bit of wind noise because it's kind of a windy day. But as far as the road noise, the wind noise, and exterior noises in general, it's pretty good. Really quiet. Quiet, smooth, comfortable. It's not a rough suspension. I can understand why this is the most popular Nissan vehicle. It's as far as sales, because it kind of checks a lot of boxes for a vast majority of people. It's a pleasant driving experience, and just relatively usable as far as the size and the functionality, and also the price range is in a range in which people can afford. So yeah, great vehicle. I really think it is. I think a lot of people could use this on a daily basis and be happy with it, you know. The main thing about this vehicle when driving it, it just feels like you kind of zip around town, you do all your errands, pick up the kids, drop off the kids, pick up the groceries, stuff like that, in a very just like non-dramatic way, you know. It just, you drive around, you get good fuel economy, and you feel comfortable, relatively easy to get things in and out. The cargo area is very functional. It's customizable as well, which I like. And it's just overall a very functional, usable vehicle for most people. There's a few features that needs improvement. One of those is the lane keep assist system. So when I turn on the cruise control and go ahead and set it, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that feature on. It's the steering assist is what it's called on this vehicle. And basically what happens is I turn it off because it wanders around. And so it's a hands-on system, so you have to hold the steering wheel. So as it's wandering, it kind of fights with you as you're driving. Another thing is that it doesn't have grip sensors. So you have to, it relies on you moving the steering wheel in order to it feels you moving the steering wheel. So if you're gently holding it, so go ahead and set it. If you're just gently holding it and not doing any kind of, you know, movement with your hands, then it'll alert you, let you know, hey, you got to hold the steering wheel, because it doesn't have a grip sensor. It doesn't, it's like right now, it doesn't know that I'm actually holding the steering wheel. So I have to jiggle it. So you're constantly jiggling the steering wheel, and you're fighting against the system as you're driving, because it wants to wander all over the place. It doesn't want to stay in one spot. You know, I like to preferably not wander around the lane while I'm driving. But this system wants to constantly wander around, especially if it's windy. It just can't handle that. It just wanders all over the place. So that's one of the features that I just, you know, it's just easier for me to just turn it off, because it just doesn't work. It could be improved, and that possibly could be improved with like a software update or something. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's worth mentioning that if you like to just drive on the highway and you like steering assist systems, whether they're hands-on or whatever, this one is, it doesn't have the same experience that you know, like other vehicles have, where you can just kind of cruise along and it's not a problem. This is kind of like a problem. So basically you just turn it off, and then you don't really have that feature anymore.